Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. Calm, cool, collected. We just had an easy run where we were never in danger. I would love to see more like that, but you don't get to choose. WPJ3, 1XX2. And we're back with Tammy's Head, continuing off from the last run. I love when you can get a day. You know, it's like, I have to imagine... As a child, and especially as a teenager, I didn't understand the concept of knitting at all. You know, knitting, it just seemed like you're whiling away, mindlessly, you know, working your hands together, and then, okay, 60 hours of work, what'd you get? A scarf, incredible. No thanks, I'll just have a cold neck and play a little bit more MLB The Show, thank you very much. This is my old reasoning. I think Isaac has helped me to understand knitting. I know it's a weird kind of take to start out with on a video like this, but I mean it in the best way possible. It's a routine. It's not mindless. It's just mindful enough to keep you engaged, you know? Once you've got enough time in it, at least. But you can do, I mean, I was going to say you can do it while you're also doing other things. That's not really true for Isaac, but if you think about it, it sort of holds true. You know, we play Isaac while we basically allow a stream of consciousness to, you know, spill out of my mouth hole. I understand it now. I feel like this is, I don't know if Isaac is an evergreen game in the same way that, like, crossword puzzles are. I don't know, I could see myself being, like, 70 years old and doing, like, an Isaac run every morning. Now, I don't know, the world might be a husk by that point, but, like, you know, we'll crank up the generator, put some biodiesel in it, check the horizon for signs of raiders who want to steal our electrons, and then, you know, just run a quick run of Isaac. You know, I could be like the old dude in The Walking Dead Season 1 and 2 before he got fired due to the new showrunners, sorry. Yo, Tears upgrade. Feeling pretty solid here. I think the time has come, by the way, and we're going to stick with Tammy's Head, for sure. I like Book of Shadows a lot, but Tammy's Head, I love offense, dude. I think the time has come to reevaluate many of the old standard games, okay? And maybe replace some of them. I'm going to hit you up with something that is not a hot take, but maybe you've never thought about before. Lord knows I didn't think about it until, you know, within the past few years for sure. How genius of an invention is a deck of cards? Literally, had to use all the brain power for that one. Literally, this one, you know, $2 or $3 invention allows you to play. I mean, you could get tens of thousands of hours of enjoyment out of it. Now, not all card games are created equal, but remarkably, you know, it's a tool that's fun for all ages. You could play Texas Hold'em. You could play Go Fish, Crazy Eights, you know, it varies. I'm willing to double down for a Magic Mush look here. Oh, all we got was a Tears downgrade, so I guess I'll just F myself. Anyway, because the reason I brought this up is because I was thinking about, you know, games that we consider as, like, part of the pantheon, you know? Like, what are some of the games that are timeless, eternal? Crossword puzzles is one that springs to mind. Been around for, you know, hundreds of years. Still very popular among a certain demographic, at least. And that's not me making a slight at old people. I love crossword puzzles as well. I should make an effort to do more. Checkers and chess. Chess is one of the best designed strategy games of all time. Checkers kind of sucks, in my opinion, but it is like it's kind of like chess for kids. And I don't mean that, oh no, I ruined it. I don't mean that to be necessarily, like, rude to checkers, but, like, let me put it this way. Who won the World Chess Championship this year? Probably, like, 10% of the people watching this are like, Carlson. Okay. Who won the World Checkers Championship this year? Yeah, exactly. Chubby Checker? No. He wrote and sang the song The Twist, okay? Just because his name has the game in it doesn't mean he's the best player. Like Bobby Fischer couldn't hold a candle to Bob Izumi. You can look up that reference. We're getting a little deep in the mad villainy here. Let's go deals with the angel. None of those items are impressive enough to titillate me. Backgammon? I don't know how to play it, but I do respect it, okay? Because, people that I respect backgammon. So right now I have a second-hand level of respect for it. But some of them, particularly on the board game front, I gotta tell you, I think it's time to move on, okay? I will abstain from insulting Monopoly. I will tell you that I don't think Monopoly is a very good game. Simultaneously, if there was a great digital version available on Steam, I would play it on the show. I would also lose my mind if it took more than 5 seconds for anybody to make a decision in that game. Because literally every decision is just, do I have the money for this? Yes, no, okay, I'll buy it. You know? But regardless. You know what's a board game that it gets a lot of respect, but I think deserves more? If I could elevate it in the board game pantheon, I would love to. Scrabble. Scrabble is 20 times the board game that Monopoly is. And I'm not just saying that because I like to identify as a nerd. You know, there's, instead of dice, you know, I like dice as a mechanic, but there's an element of randomness, you know, when it comes to the letter tiles. Sometimes you get into a difficult situation where you have to use your brain to get yourself out, if possible. What level of strategy is there in Monopoly when it comes to that stuff? Oh boy, I sure hope I don't roll a 4. That's basically what it boils down to, right? It exercises multiple parts of your brain. You know, the numeric aspects of, you know, where should I place these letters in order to make the word work with the double word score, triple letter score, etc., etc. The verbal reasoning part of it. Do I even have any words that I can use here? And then also your muscles when you flip the table after your opponent plays xylophone off of your phone word and gets the X on the triple letter score. I mean, come on. Susan, at least sandbag a little bit. If you just beat me that bad in game 1, we're never going to play again. I love Scrabble. I don't play it very much, but I respect it greatly as a board game, one way or the other. Trying to think of what else like should be up there. It's weird for video games, and I understand. I don't follow anybody who's famous for being rich, as far as I know, on Twitter. But somebody retweeted a Mark Cuban tweet into my feed that actually got me thinking. What he said is, you know, he's invested in esports, but he says people are hesitant to do it. Even, you know, I think occasionally as gamers rise up, we have a false, what's the word? It's not a false equivalency or a dilemma. We're wrong, okay? We think that rich old people don't want to invest in video games because they don't understand, oh, what's this? Is this like Pong? Blah, blah, blah. I don't think that's what it's like. You know, these are smart people. They invest in all sorts of things that they aren't aware of. You know, Mark Cuban doesn't know how to, you know, launch a friggin' rocket ship and then land it on a platform. That doesn't mean he's not going to invest in SpaceX, right? I think he brought up a very salient point, which is, you know, sure, League of Legends is huge and has been huge for a long time. Dota, it waxes and wanes a little bit in terms of its popularity, but has existed in its current form for, you know, closing in on a decade now. But people are hesitant to spend millions, and of course the other one I should bring up is Overwatch League, which probably has the most legitimate traditional sports league style esports setup right now. But, you know, people are hesitant to invest millions or even tens of millions of dollars into getting the infrastructure required for this sort of stuff, because there's no guarantee that, you know, League of Legends isn't going to make a League of Legends 2, or, and you know, wipe out all of the, or much of the learned experience that your esports team that you're paying a salary has, you know, invested. Or alternatively, the public isn't going to just be like, we don't like League of Legends anymore, Mark Cuban. We're about battle royales now. You know, and it's weird. I think we kind of just take it as evident that, like, you know, football's going to be around. Basketball's going to be around. Hockey's going to be around. Blah, blah, blah. And they have been around for a while. It's close, dude. I want more offense, though. That's not offense. Yikes. Really feeling... Oh, never mind. We're good. I like Tractor Beam, even without the Tears upgrade. Although I do wish it gave me a Tears upgrade. You know, we take it for granted that these sports are, you know, going to stick around. Why do they have... I'm going to posit a theory, and this is based on no academic influence, just my own hunch. I think if you introduced any of those sports, and I'm being legitimate, any of them, I don't care, the best sport you could ever imagine. You know, whatever one's your favorite, take it. I think if you introduced it right now, it would fail. It would be pushed out by the remaining leagues. I mean, if the NFL never existed, and then it got dropped into the world in its present form, I think it would have a good chance to fail. I think people would be like, what's up with this sport? Why would I watch this when I could just watch basketball instead, you know? Why do I like hockey? Is complicated. Do I like hockey because it's a well-designed sport? I have no idea. Here's why I like hockey. I like hockey because when I was a kid, I watched hockey with my dad. He was passionate about it, taught me what to look for. We rooted together. And, you know, after doing that for like 10 years, I was ready to enjoy it on my own, right? I got like shepherded into the arena of that. And then the second part of the phenomenon, the other catalyst, is that it's always on TV here. It's very easy to access. Yo, maybe stop taking this damage. And I think that's the same with a lot of sports. It's not necessarily that, you know, we think critically and go, well, baseball's a good sport because of the way that there's exactly 9 innings promotes, you know, an odd number of blah. You get the idea. I think it's just that they've, I think a lot of it is familial. I think it's, you know, well, you know, granddad took me to baseball games as a kid. I have good memories of that. And, you know, liking baseball was just something you did when you were my age. So, oh my God. We need a DP. We need a D upgrade. Don't take that out of context, please. We do have a deal with the Angel/Devil coming up. That could help. Or win us the run, really. But... And I think that's where esports, you know, they're kind of in this weird area right now where there are, like, literally... By the way, I saw the post about new pot play. This is way smarter. Thank you. Didn't even think about that until it was... we still... Okay, you know what? Frig, I won't do what you tell me. What I was gonna say, though, is I think that's where you're kind of at with esports, is that, like, you know, there's literally, like, no 15-year-old on planet Earth right now. It's, like, mathematically borderline impossible, if not impossible. That was like, yeah, I grew up with my dad teaching me, we were rooting for SK Telecom. I've got fond memories of that, and now I'm gonna pass on my love of League of Legends esports to my child, you know? And that's not to besmirch esports. It's just the disadvantage of starting, you know, being last to market for right now, right? So I understand where they're coming from in that situation, and I don't know where I fit in either. Because I'll admit, you know, sometimes when I think of esports, I think to myself, like, I don't have that attitude where, like, well, why would I watch someone virtually throw a ball when I could watch someone for real throw a ball? I'm more on the level where I'm like, we don't even have a real physical world. The only way that the physical world exists is as a projection of light entering our irises and then being interpreted by our brains. So who am I to say that X is more real than Y just because X can be felt and seen? So I'm like a nerd, which means I'm rife for being poached by esports instead of regular sports, I guess. But I understand. In a way, I'm being sympathetic to esports. Because I do think, you know, nobody ever has a real discussion about the design and the kinematics of other sports. What you talk about are, like, you know, new rule changes and stuff like that. Injuries. Oh my God, this has been a bad floor. Blah, blah, blah. But nobody ever, like, can you imagine somebody getting up on ESPN and going, is football a good game? They would be killed. Like, metaphorically, but maybe also someone would murder them. Dude, I'm going the distance here. Let's do it. I'm going to quickly go back and see if there's a secret room here, and also go to the shop and see if maybe there's some HP that we could purchase, but it's dangerous, and we shouldn't have taken the HP. That's another mistake, but still. Now, I'm not saying football is a bad game. Moreover, if you enjoy whatever and don't enjoy something else, I don't care. Like, literally, I got my own problems. You know, I'm not worried about what other people do in their free time that doesn't hurt other people. Don't step on the spikes anymore, please. But maybe look for some demon hearts. I'm just saying. I think Mark Cuban, he's got a good idea here. I think it's also just hard to get people to watch him. You know, not everybody, but, you know, I mean, I've told you, you know, Vancouver got an Overwatch team. I don't want to watch them yet, because they don't play in Vancouver. That's fine. It might seem like a little, like, I don't know what the word is. It's not elitist, but it might seem a little overly picky, but like, okay, so there's the Vancouver, the Rampage, right? Where do they play? Los Angeles. Where do they call home? Vancouver. How does that work? Well, in 2 years, they might be set up at their own state. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe in 2 years, we'll start watching then. Because, like, for now, just I feel no connection to this team. They're named after my city, but don't even play here. Anyway. I think you just... I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to go out on a limb here. But I think if League sticks around for literally like 20 years, it's probably the game that has the best shot at maybe becoming a pseudo-evergreen esport. But it is also, I mean, it's strange, right? Because, like, it's weird to think about an esport lasting that long. And I know people are going, StarCraft, like, I didn't get into this crap on StarCraft, okay? But it's lost a lot of popularity. Yes, it has been around forever, but it doesn't look like it's getting any stronger, is I guess where I'm coming at this from. And that's not to be rude. Yo, I'm genuinely terrified right now. I think we might have 1.5 Spirit Hearts left. So I'm going to shut up about esports, which I probably should have done earlier. Good, quiet, NL. You're scaring off all the billionaires. And I'm going to start to focus on Isaac. This run has gotten slightly wonky. I'm not really interested in losing it at this point. And it would be a very bad one to lose. I don't think we can take it. It would be a very bad one to lose. I mean, they're all bad to lose at this point, but, like, this one would be really bad. Because we had a good run and then just took a lot of damage on the previous floor. I actually think maybe you even go for this. Okay. I'm not freaking out yet, and I think part of the reason I'm not freaking out is because I can't see my HP. Might seem weird, but maybe it's a good thing. You know, I want to... I have a game plan. And it starts with not walking into enemies even to get a good Tammy's headshot. Oh, let's actually go. My baby takes the morning train. He works from 9 to 5 and then he gets his streak to 32 and finds me waiting for him. Sorry, that was just, like, genuinely the most excited I've been all day. Because look, we've lost streaks before. It's nothing new. You know, I'm a well-adjusted adult. There's no risk of me, like, punching my webcam. Especially because it's not even on. But, like, secondarily, you know, the streaks that we've lost in the past have largely been due to running into unforeseen, difficult circumstances. This one would have been to me being a dummy. And, you know, 1 HP doesn't mean we win, but it does mean we're much further away from a loss. Especially if we can even get one more on top of that. So we gotta look. We don't have to take, and we're definitely not gonna take, but... Alright, deep breath, little hydration. And we're back. Curse of the Unknown 2 times in a row. Now that's just pain in the butt. I think we have 1 red heart and 1.5 spirit hearts, so we really do not want to take damage still. No surprise there.
2 of spades.
Bad 2 of clubs. We should have waited on that. But at the same time, you know, the bomb's unlikely to be that useful. I mean, not bad, obviously, but is this a tinted rock? I think it's worth checking. Was not. What is incredibly useful is every single spirit heart. And I would love to see, like, Dark Bum show up. We don't need it to win, I think. And just throwing that I think in there is a little bit... It's indicative of the fear that I have pulsing throughout my body right now. But sometimes, you know, calm, cool, collected, I think, has been a philosophy that's done good stuff for us. Used to win a lot of these runs, you know, white-knuckling through adrenaline, take every deal with the devil, we'll deal with the consequences later. Shouldn't have been standing there, obviously. Trying to be smarter and more mature, and you know, that means recognizing, hey, you're gonna have floors like that depths one, where we, you know, get hit way more times for no good reason than we should. Minimize them. I wish I knew the keyboard shortcut for minimize. I don't want to say it's Control M, because what? NL Control M sends all your Bitcoin to hackers. I didn't know, man. Surely I can't be held responsible for that. I don't know how it works. What can you be held responsible for? If you listen to the average person, you know, if you make a joke about eating Tide Pods and then one person eats a Tide Pod, you're going to jail for life, buddy. I don't think that's how it works in a legal situation. And I think I've been even more confident in that after watching Murder Mountain. The Murder Mountain mini-arc continues. Where basically, at the end of that show, they're like, yeah, we know who murdered somebody, but, like, can't prove it, so guess he just gets to go away. You know, for the most part, I would say I'm mildly confident in the justice system. But stuff like that, you know, I support presumption of innocence until proven guilty and blah, blah, blah. And I understand, you know, you gotta have proof beyond a reasonable doubt in order to minimize the incidence of innocent people being put away for crimes they didn't commit. But stuff like that is infuriating. Just lock him up. Okay? I'm joking. Or am I? No, I am, but... Okay, super bandage. Boy, you got my heartbeat running away. Beating like a drum and it's going away. Can't you see that boom, ba-doom, boom, boom, ba-doom, boom, baby's got that super bandage, boom, ba-doom. I am very excited. Again, now that we got the nail, we got some renewable HP. And we're gonna Joker immediately. I really wanted to give away this HP. I would settle for lump of coal. And we got it, thankfully. Okay, we still gotta, just for at least... Yo, that's pretty good. Just for a little bit, we still gotta focus. You know, we gotta be, how does that song go? Gotta be bad, you gotta be bold, gotta be wise, It's one I haven't heard in a while. Dude, bummer, by the way. One of the 3 radio stations I have tuned in my car switched to the new year, in the new year, I should say, from being a classic rock station to, and I only found out, I turned it to the station because, like, you know, C-Fox was playing something I absolutely hate, probably 3 Days Grace, don't at me, and I tuned to a different station that shall not be named because I don't want to support bad actions like this, and the first thing I heard was, playing Vancouver's easy listening hits, songs you haven't heard in forever. So it switched from a, and at this radio station, it's been up and down for sure. I follow this sort of stuff. I'm a denizen of the radio industry, obviously. Very passionate about verbal medias. But they were previously the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Which was more of my jam. But then, like, every now and then they'd have, well, every night between like 9 and 11, they'd do the blues hour. And I was like, I hate it. Not that I dislike blues, but, you know, I didn't tune into the radio to hear new songs, okay? I tuned into the radio to hear the best of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Anyway, and I'm not hating on easy listening. If you like it, you like it. In my hometown, basically the exact same thing happened. There was a rock and roll station. Cool alternative radio. We play songs your mom doesn't want you to hear, like Nirvana. See, there's a little nested joke in there. Alternative rock featuring the most popular bands of the decade. Alternative, just like us. Here's an ad for Napa Auto Parts. But anyway, I get that it's a business. It's a money-making endeavor. But simultaneously, you know, I feel like that's just the way things go, you know? You know, the youths these days, myself included, they ain't using the radio anymore. They don't appreciate the spectacle of the FM AM. They're all about, oh, I got Bluetooth MP3s coming out of my beehole, you know? So all the radio stations are pressured, you know, they gotta go where the money is. The only people who are still listening to the freaking radio are older. So you end up getting these stations that, like, you know, the hardest song they play is Smooth Operator by Sade. And whenever they play it, they get letters. I don't like the way that song said coast to coast, LA to Chicago. It's propagating the idea that Chicago has a coast. It does not have a coast. Don't you know? Oh, NL, don't do it. He's a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Still stuck in my head. Along with the story of my life, I'll just take her home. I drive all night to keep her warm, and time is freaking frozen. You thought I forgot? Thought I was what, dead? Whoa. Dude, I'm so thankful we got out of this one. This is a scare. And you know what? I think every streak needs a few scares. Peppered throughout. Now, I don't want to say that it was all us playing badly. It was largely all us playing badly, but we do still have base damage, or maybe just slightly more than base damage, which is really terrible for this floor. Now, we do have Incubus Bookworm, I think, and also, you know, the Nail is a modest damage bonus when I actually remember to use it as such, and then, you know, Rotten Baby, but I'm not saying our damage is, or our DPS is terrible. What I will say is that our actual damage stat is way worse than average right now. So I absolve myself somewhat. I forgive myself. As long as I don't let it, you know, throw me in a downward spiral where we're losing runs we shouldn't be losing. Because as of right now, you know, we got a good thing going. I don't want to throw away my 4.0 GPA by not studying for the midterm. Whoa. And this is just emblematic of everything wrong with my playstyle, by the way. I'm using my orbital to deal damage. We might bust this run wide open. Because the Yara rune... We'll get 8 items. Surely, it would be surprising if none of those 8 items were able to give us any kind of damage-related gas. It would be, not, you know, impossible, but quite unlikely. Very, very frightening me. So I think we're going to be probably A-okay to keep things going here. Maybe don't pop this right away. And I throw myself on the mercy of the YouTube court, by the way, where I'm presumed innocent until guilty, I hope. I need to apologize for the way that this run went. All I can do is say that we'll be better in the future about it. And I want to believe that. Dude, left side, incredible. Right side, borderline useless, but, you know, I'm not too mad about it. Should I pick them up? I'm very hesitant to pick up, hold up. I'm very hesitant to pick up Continuum, because it scares me. But, you know, we can't hit ourselves with our own bombs, so... Because we have Pyromaniac. This is why it's such a good combination there. So I picked up Continuum, because I was like, maybe Continuum has never appeared on this run, or on this save file, I should say. Now, we would have taken Incubus one way or the other, by the way. And that might have been the wrong decision, now that I look at all the damage that we're taking just randomly. But, or the damage we could have been taking. But I would have just fired. Like, that's the one where I'm like, how did we get hit? I think it's something to do with the way Tractor Beam is working with Incubus. But I could be wrong. We would have just fired way more slowly. But it could have killed us, actually. So, thank you, Pyromaniac, for making sure that wasn't a concern. Not hubris, by the way. Just no need for any of this stuff, you know? What do you get for the man who has everything? Like, what if your uncle's Jeff Bezos? What do you get him for Christmas? I'll tell you what you don't do. Give him a Barnes & Noble e-reader. You will not be invited back to Iguana Thanksgiving. You remember the picture. This rarely does this happen, but this is, you know, this is an Isaac episode where there should be footnotes to explain a couple of the references. Like, it needs its own Rap Genius article. Without tooting my own horn. I'm enjoying this period, by the way, where, like, everything's set in stone. Sometimes it's easy to forget, you know, when you get on the streak in Isaac, you start up the video, boop, another win, time to record another win. You need that kick in the gut, you know, where the game goes, hey, you know, you gotta work for today's and you almost screwed it up, dummy. Now I remember, you know, we're going into runs with, you know, believing we're owed something, like Team Canada at the World Juniors. Like, hey, you know, this is my show. How dare you make me lose on my show? So this is a good recentering opportunity. And a good run in general. So, take me down to the Paradise City. 32 wins in a row. Feels good. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It was a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See ya.